I'm really excited today. We have a great topic that I'm going to be talking about. You should be really excited, like a child giddy with joy. That's a hint. Today, we're going to be talking about how to connect with your inner child. Now, when I was a kid, I had imagination for days. I was a huge dreamer. I was constantly daydreaming of different worlds, and I like devoured all the books from the library about fantasy. My favorite book, I think, was something around fairies, and I would, one day I would be pretending I was a fairy by the creek near our house, being able to manipulate thunderstorms. And the next day I would be an explorer, going through the different bush, trying to find dangerous animals. And so imagination was something that was just second nature to me. And, as we grow older, this is something that I ended up losing because we gain these new experiences, things happen, and we lose the magic. We lose that luster for life because we're told how the world is, we're told how we should be, and we're told how we should feel. So instead of us finding out for ourselves, we're leaning on other people for how we're supposed to, go through life. We create labels, we place them over our heads and act out those labels without asking, okay, well, what does that mean for me? Who am I? Because that is just the way the world works. We never ask questions. So I'm here to tell you that that shouldn't happen. And life should not be like that. And life isn't supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be lived outside of the box and with joy and happiness. And life shouldn't be as hard as it is, especially within the past couple of years. We've experienced a lot of sadness and grief. And it's really time to be able to discover more joy in our lives. And we often get too busy and we make excuses for these things. Like, we've got responsibilities and bills to pay, remember, right? Wrong. So during the brink of my self-discovery journey, I was in the process of quitting my job, and I was dating this guy for about 6 months, and he was really against me quitting my job. And I think this was because he thought that I was going to fail, and I was going to lean on him for different financial things. And that was really not what was going to be happening. I had a plan, I had a path of what I wanted to do, and it didn't include him at all. So this idea was really set in motion even before I had met him. So that's just a little bit of context of where I was at in that relationship. So it was St. Patrick's Day, and I decided to do something really, really fun with my roommate and post a video of, us dancing the Irish jig, really just embodying what I wanted to say about joy and how you can find joy in the everyday things. And we danced our little hearts out. It looked super silly and we loved it. And so that night I went to my boyfriend's house and I walked in and he's like, "Why did you post that video?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Why did you post that video?" And I was like, "Well, because I wanted to." And he was like, "Well, that's really unprofessional. And that's not what you want to do for your business because you're trying to grow it, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And what he really didn't understand is that that was exactly what I wanted to portray. Because we as humans need to take more time to play, need to take more time to be silly and embrace our inner child. And we've forgotten how to find joy again, the joy that we had as kids. And we don't see the world through curiosity or excitement. We see it through these eyes of, seriousness and negativity and worry and anxiety and hate. and we just need to see more joy. So really, he was missing that finding childlike joy in dancing, like, and really just being silly and being happy is exactly what I wanted for my mission, for what I was doing. Because I wanted to be able to create a space, create a community who sought out for joy every day, who could find easy hacks for joy, and to build our hearts with them being open and having curiosity, and slowing down and appreciating those little things, having creativity and expressing our truths, seeing more positivity than the negativity that's being spewed at us, and finding a way to connect to other humans so we can build even more joy and magic. So I wanted to provide you guys with a few of my suggestions on how you can embrace being a kid, but I wanted to, focus on this idea that what if you could do both? What if you could be a child and an adult at the same time? What if you could have a life that was filled with joy and happiness and still be successful? You'd still be going through those hard things, but you'd also have a drawer full of things that give you joy that can help you through those times where you're still experiencing it, but you know that there's joy on the outside of that. And it's really about, it's not about being childish. It's about being able to experience life with all it has to offer, all the excitement, all the happiness, all the joy, and being present for every damn moment of it, because it's gone too soon. So here are some ways that you can embrace your inner child that I'm going to go through here. So 1, who were you as a kid? So really take the time to sit with yourself, go back to when you're a kid and think of those times when you felt so much joy. Like, what were you doing? Did you play Lego? Did you play Barbies? Did you play soccer? Did you like going on nature walks? Did you enjoy exploring? And what you want to do is take some of those things and incorporate those into your life today. Now, I'm not saying sit down and play Barbies or anything like that, but maybe there's a way you can go and, play dolls with people that, are in need, or, a big sister or big brother group, or, going to, build something at the museum, whatever it is, finding something that incorporates that idea of it so that you can find that joy in your life today. So again, whether it's, playing those songs that you used to like, whether, I go back and listen to the Backstreet Boys, and I don't know if you guys have heard of the Moffats. I'm going to say it. I was a big fan. Play those when I want to go back to, my childhood days. So really just incorporating the joy to remind yourself of your inner child. And it's going to feel so good. I'm telling you. Next thing, try something new and be okay to fail at it. So when we were kids, I mean, I used to fail a lot and be like, okay, whatever, I'll get up, I fell down, scraped my knee, I'm going to get up and jump back into the ball pit. Like, we didn't care. So being able to try something new, whether that is a new baking recipe, whether that's going to a painting class, whether that is, going rock climbing, or whatever this new thing that you want to do, but you've been holding back on doing because you're scared that you're going to fail at it, do that. Do it. Because you're going to realize that failing isn't so bad, because you have the courage to do it, to try it. And you'll find that maybe you actually like failing and you want to try again and again until you actually get it. And you'll have the satisfaction of actually achieving your goal after going through all of that. So really having this being comfortable with failing. So the next thing is being curious in every situation. So whether you're on a date, whether you are moving into a new place or a new city, whether it is going into a new job, you are always curious. You are always looking to learn more about a person or a situation. It keeps us open to positive experiences happening out of those new experiences and those scary experiences. So being able to, go on a date and be open to this person and, going in, looking to find a friend, not necessarily looking to meet the man of your dreams, but you end up meeting someone who is going to, bring you your next job, actually put you in touch with your soulmate. So all of these things are really about being curious and asking questions and learning, because learning is the best part about life, because as you learn, you grow, and this opens up new opportunities for you. So never be closed off. Always be curious. Always be open to what's happening in your life. And the next thing is do something silly. How often was the last time you were silly? What did you do? Did you let yourself be silly? Did you let yourself laugh? Take some time to really embrace being silly, embrace not caring what people think or, when they see you, and being able to just embrace who you are, because being silly is really just bringing out another piece of yourself. And being silly doesn't make you childish. It makes you brave, because you're living against the grain and you're taking a risk on being yourself and taking a risk on, being laughed at. And really, who cares? Because if it feels good to you and it feels silly, like dancing on, the internet and like letting everyone see your hilarious dance moves, like, so be it. If that's what you want to do, go and do it. Use this time to be creative and really use your imagination. So what can you do in your life that really opens up that creativity mindset for you? Is that painting? Is that drawing? Is that creating a website? Whatever it is that you can do to create something in your life is expanding your imagination and expanding your childlike joy. Because I think for me, painting is such a great way to express who you are. Because it's funny, because I talk to people and they're like, well, I can't paint. I'm not a very good painter. But I think it's the fear behind being judged, and it's the fear behind not being good enough and not a good enough painter is what holds us back. But if we don't try and we don't continue to try, we're never going to learn. And then you never know, you might actually be this amazing artist that you had no idea you were. So really, it's about expressing yourself without having any inhibitions and just being curious of what comes out through your imagination and being creative, because being creative expresses this, our inner child, and allows us to feel free and allows us to expose those feelings. And whatever creation you make, it is still beautiful. And last but not least, I want you to eat the cake and smile more. So this is a twofold one, but so often we are hard on ourselves when we do some of the things in our life. Like, I'm going to take an example as eating a slice of cake. So when we were younger, we didn't give two shits. Well, like, we were going to eat that piece of cake whether or not, anyone was looking or anything. But as adults, we look at this piece of cake and we have all of these stories that we tell ourselves, like, oh, I'm on a diet, I can't eat that. Oh, I'm too fat, I can't eat that, I'm going to gain 10 pounds. Like, all of these judgments, and like judgments from ourselves and other people that go into a small piece of cake. That cake means nothing. We put meaning onto that cake. So instead of looking at that cake as, something to be afraid of or, not enjoy because it's going to make you fat, let's look at that piece of cake as what it's supposed to be. This sweet piece of joy that you're going to indulge in. I mean, it's not like you're going to eat the entire cake, but I think just taking the time to be present and enjoying that moment and seeing it for what it is, it's just a piece of cake. And it being able to enjoy it, indulge it, and smile as you do it, and enjoy that joyous bite is so important. Because isn't it a crazy idea just to eat cake and not have to think about all of the other things and just be in the moment and embrace that joy that's happening? Because how many times do you sit there and eat a piece of cake and be like, oh, this is gross? You were smiling. This is a delicious piece of cake. It's sweet. It's delicious. It's so good. There's no negative feelings there until you put them on the cake. So don't forget to embrace those small things, to embrace those little slices of cake, those little slices of sweetness in your life. Because, gosh, life is too short to be hard on ourselves and to not enjoy life as it's supposed to be enjoyed with joy, with childlike joy, if I will. So I hope that this video inspires you to tap into your inner child, tap into that joy within yourself without judgment, without any sort of inhibitions that are holding you back. Eat the cake, be silly, do the things that give you joy, and you'll see that your life is going to get a hell of a lot better. See you next video.